Coverage, your favorite podcast with your host,
Manny and Laura.
And Larly.
And you guys, you already know it's your favorite podcast.
You know
and
that.
That's just what it is.
Today is a very special episode. You guys, it's happened.
The trial has come to an end. 6 weeks.
I didn't think that we would have an answer this quick.
I didn't either.
To this case.
They have 6 weeks to deliberate, so the fact that it came so quickly.
They took like 2.5 days.
Yeah, like we have our answer.
We're good.
We are good. We've been here for 6 weeks.
So this episode may go live a little sooner than Friday, and you may be celebrating Fool Friday on a Thursday. Which is like just amazing.
Which honestly, like if we can make that happen, I think it's really, really cool.
Right?
Because today that we're filming is Wednesday.
Yep.
And so if we can get it up on Thursday.
We're going to try to get it up a day early for you guys because this information is hot.
It's hot. It's what's going on. And that's just what we want to just get up earlier if we can.
So you may be watching this on Thursday. You may be watching on Friday. We'll figure out what happens.
And if you're watching on Friday, mind your business.
Don't even mention that.
Don't even mention it. Don't even say anything.
We can make it happen. All right, guys. But I think we're going to start this episode before we deep dive into the Johnny and Amber verdict is our peek in our pit for the week. This dude's over here, Dr. Strange in it. Manny.
I'm sorry, you're right. Peak in our pits of the week. I'm also slightly delusional because it is 9 p.m.
It has to do, it's 9 p.m. right now. They released the verdict at 3 o'clock today, around 3:15. And then me and Manny went to a actual pro wrestling match.
So this is actually both of our peaks of the week.
We're merging our peaks.
We're merging the peaks. And Tyler was there as well. So we did a professional AEW wrestling match with our friend CJ,
who is Svetlana as a wrestler. She's been wrestling probably, she said, 7 years.
Yeah, for WWE. She was Lana on WWE. And so Miro, her partner, it was just a return back to wrestling, and it was on AEW.
So at the Forum here in LA, they actually had a live show, which me and Manny had never been to one before. And so CJ was like, I can get us all backstage passes, front row tickets. Ty came with us, and we're like, yeah.
We're like, absolutely. It's like, I've never done anything like that. I've never gone to a wrestling match before. I've seen wrestling when I was like in junior high.
Right.
And I remember like watching it when I was younger. I'd be like, wow, this is so real and crazy.
Thank you to Away for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. Guys, I love Away.
We're Awayaholics over here.
We're Awayaholics. Me and Manny,
Full Coverage,
we love Away luggage. If you guys haven't tried it, it's extremely luxe. We just got back from a trip where we both carried our Away carry-ons, and they're so nice.
They're also so slim and chic.
They're also lightweight. So like the actual, I get frustrated when actual luggage is heavy because then it adds weight onto your luggage.
Absolutely.
Like what you have to lug around. So the Away luggage, so easy. It's got the 360 spinner wheels.
Those are my favorite.
They're so smooth.
I absolutely love it. And the fact that they also have the TSA approved combination lock, and it kind of keeps everything kind of safe. So it's a combination lock that's TSA approved. It's not like you can't they'll break into your bag so you can't get in. They're approved by the TSA.
I've had Away luggages for a long time, and it says that they're built to last. They have durable exteriors, which I can attest to that. They actually are. Like you can throw them around, beat them around. It says that they even withstand the toughest, roughest baggage handlers.
I couldn't agree more. I honestly one of my favorite ads to do is literally Away ads because they're literally like part of my life at this point. I love the Away luggages. You guys, there's a 100-day trial on everything Away makes as well. Take the product out on the road, live with it, travel with it, even get lost with it for 100 days. If you decide it's not for you, you can return any non-personalized item for a full refund during that period. No ifs, ands, or buts.
You know what that means? That means the stuff is good. Start your 100-day trial and shop the entire Away lineup of travel essentials, including their best-selling suitcases at awaytravel.com/full. That's awaytravel.com/full. My brother was so heavily into it, and then he got into UFC fighting, but he still is into the WWE, the AEW. And I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldberg, Undertaker.
That was like my time.
The Rock was big back then, and all that. I remember that so much. So this was very exciting for me. And let me just say, those guys get their asses kicked out there because we were basically on the stage.
We were second row.
Literally, they flung off the stage, hit the barricades, and me and Ty had to jump over so the barricades didn't ram us. That's how close we were to the stage. Sweat was coming off on us.
I didn't realize how intense it really was.
I had no
until
idea.
being there, because when I was younger, I thought, oh my god, like this is obviously like this is so cool, this is so real, it's all like crazy. And then when I grew up, I was like, it's all fake. And then now I'm here, I'm like, okay, so it's like a kind of combination of both.
Same. When my brother watching it,
hurt.
I was like, I feel like this potentially could be real.
Yes.
And then I grew up like, oh, it's not real. And then if you watch it, they're bleeding and turning their bodies like black and blue where they hit each other before they even get off the stage. Like you can see the big marks and bruises forming.
See, I didn't realize that they were actually hitting each other.
They just know how to do it in a way that they're not taken to the hospital.
Yeah, so it's like they're still getting hit, but they're not getting hit so hard that it's like a UFC match where they're trying to like hurt someone.
So for instance, if I slammed Manny on the ground and I was a fighter, he's going to feel the total impact of being slammed on the ground, but he knows how to land in a way where it's not going to knock the air out of him and he can get back up. So that's kind of how it is.
Himself.
But it still gets slammed on the ground.
When they get slapped. So like they'll get slapped here instead of getting slapped here.
Yeah.
Like they'll get slapped on the neck because there's like more like meat here.
Let me show you guys. We're like the worst.
No, there was like this match. So obviously we were there for Mio's match, which was absolutely insane. It was so incredible. Thank you, CJ, of course, for having us.
Yes.
It was. We were like,
That was so dope.
We were going crazy. But they also had this 5-on-5 match. I'd never seen anything like this in my whole fucking life.
Take my eyes away.
I couldn't either.
Imagine 5 guys just flying everywhere. And I thought one guy broke his neck because a full massive dude flies out of the ring and lands on the other guy's like the back of his neck, shoulder area, like full body. He just takes the impact down to the ground. And I'm like, there's no way he'll ever get up again.
And he did.
So CJ taught us because, of course, it's so cool watching it with her because me and Manny have like a million questions. We're like, okay, so what happens when this happens? And she said that they have an X that they'll do, like, and it's well known. If you're really hurt, you'll throw up the X.
Yo, like I'm down bad.
But it's cool. So I was watching them kind of talk to each other in ear because you guys remember we're like right up on the stage. So I was like watching them kind of mumble back and forth to each other, but they're such short little words. So I was like, CJ, what are they saying? And I was like, are they plotting moves? And she was like, kinda, because they'll just be like, open up or be ready, or like they'll say a little word or two to each other that kind of cues them in on what's coming. And they just feed off each other. And the crazy thing though is like that it's like such a split second thing, so you have to know immediately like what's about to happen because you need to be able to react to that. Ty, what did you think of it?
It was crazy.
Right?
It's
relived every childhood fantasy.
Yeah, it was so
I was never a huge fan of like WWE and stuff, but like I'd watch it every now and then and like try to reenact.
Of course
your brother.
Of course you would.
Of course. I used to do the remember this one?
X, or no, it was like DDT, or like the guys would like do that.
DDT?
Literally, I used to walk around the house doing that.
Literally every guy at like my middle school and junior high and like whatever it's called, elementary school would do that. But didn't that
just mean like suck it?
Yeah, I think it's just suck it, yeah.
It was just like a wrestler, a popular wrestler.
And our parents would get on to us.
Like, stop DDTing.
Right.
It is such a crazy...
Stop DDTing your brother. Stop it.
It's a crazy industry because they do that and then they'll go backstage and they're like...
Yeah, because we went backstage.
They're friends, yeah.
They're all
chilling.
friends
and
back there. They're
Are we
all
spoiling?
Friends.
Like, are these spoilers? Are we ruining anyone's life right
I will
now?
say every wrestler we met is an extremely nice, normal person. Like, there's like, oh, hey, what's up? After they just went on stage, we're like...
I will rip his guts out.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
That's literally how it is. Like,
so nice to meet you.
That's literally what it was.
We were like tripping.
It was shock, and like even like the guy that was helping us, Bruce, I think his name was Bruce.
Yeah.
He's like this big Samoan 6'3", 6'4" guy, like a teddy bear. The sweetest freaking guy.
I know.
I was terrified.
So big.
I was terrified.
Being back there, they're so huge back there.
Okay, literally, they are so big.
So big.
I'm over here looking at everyone. They're all like 6'4", 6'5".
They're huge.
A lot of them are massive. I was in heaven. Let me tell y'all real quick.
Oh, there was some gigantic men everywhere.
Like they were fine AF.
Yeah.
Some were fine as fine.
And like a normal sized guy, you're like, wow, he's so tiny. And it's like,
yes,
no.
And he was like my height.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm 6 feet
tall.
The
other guys are so big. So wait, what's your pit of the week?
Okay, I have a doozy of a pit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, it's not even like that crazy, but it's definitely a pit. So I decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hook up. I'm gonna give myself another hookup opportunity because my last one was so like just ridiculous. and like the whole hair thing, like it was just weird, you know? So I'm like, I'm going to go hook up with someone else. I'm going to make this happen. So I'm talking to this dude. I'm like, cool, sounds good. I'm going to come over. He was like, okay, I'm at this concert. I'm going to be home at this time. My phone might die, so just like let me know when you're going to leave. And I'm like, perfect, sounds good. He gave me his number. I gave him my number. And so I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to leave now. And he's like, sounds great. I'm on my way. Like, and I'm like, I live farther out. Like, I have to drive like a good bit to get to like.
He's like in Central WeHo.
So I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to come over. I'm driving there. I get to like, let's say Studio City area.
Okay.
And he's like, so he's like, are you on your way? And I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way. I'm almost like out there. And he's like, are you, he's like, send me another photo of you. I was like, okay. So I sent like a selfie like right then and there. And he's like, okay, cool. He's like, are you feminine or masculine? And I'm like, I would say I'm like kind of in between. Like people know I'm gay immediately, but I wouldn't say I'm super masculine. I wouldn't say I'm super feminine.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of like I teeter in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? And he's like, oh, well, I prefer like feminine guys. And then he literally blocked me.
What?
And then he literally blocked me.
You're lying.
What's and then going on? Literally, that was
that
me.
Couldn't have come any better of a time.
That was perfect, Tyler. So I literally drove like 30, 35 minutes.
You got
about to get to like the guy's house.
Gagged.
And he's like, oh, you're not feminine enough.
Can you tell me your initial thought in your head?
I literally like, my mouth dropped.
Wait.
You guys, I douched.
How did you? Oh.
I douched. And you.
Oh, no, sorry.
I don't think you understand. If I'm douching, things better be happening.
Tyler, you've got to label this.
Wait, were you trying to do that?
I was trying to do that.
That's what I thought you were doing.
There we go.
That's what I thought.
We're going to get labels.
We're going to get labels. If I'm douching, things better be fucking happening.
Dang.
Let me tell you that. I went and I did the full fantasy.
How did you know he blocked you?
Because I texted him and went green. Because it was blue texts originally.
He blocks your phone number?
Phone number, yep. And blocked me on the app.
This is so
and blocked
odd
me on the app as well.
Why did he need to block? It's not like you were like, I'm coming either way.
No, I'm like, I didn't even, like, he had told me, like, he's like, okay, this is where I live. He's like, I'm going to send you my address when you get closer. I was like, okay, cool, sounds good.
So
he sent me like, it's like, sounds weird, but he sent me a pin. He's like, okay, this is where I live. And so I'm like, okay, I know the direction I'm going in.
These freaking people out there.
And I couldn't believe that. I was gagged because I'm like, so you're telling me that because I'm not feminine enough?
Tell me you went and did something in Hollywood.
I didn't.
You went home. I
went back on the app. I was like, okay, if there's anyone around, like really quickly. And I was like, I'll give myself 10 minutes.
Okay.
There was no one around that I was like interested in, that I wanted to do anything. And I was like, okay, honestly, I'm already kind of annoyed in this moment.
You didn't want to see if anyone was home? Your
mean?
Friends? You know a ton of people in LA.
I did, but it was like 11 p.m.
Oh,
like I was going over to like hook up. Like I wasn't going on for like, hey, let's go like to dinner.
Yeah,
like it was like I was going for that reason.
Yep.
And so I'm like, damn, dude, this is like the worst. Like this shit is like the worst part.
This is trauma.
It's trauma.
I would have
can't get a catch a break,
if
dude.
I were you, I would call me immediately. But I'm glad you saved it for the pod.
It was 11 p.m.
Yeah, I was asleep for sure.
You were definitely asleep, one. And two, I was like, I think this would be a funny story for the pod to tell Laura immediately.
I'm glad you saved it because
Are you sure?
I didn't know that we were.
No, Laura had no. You guys, I saved this for Laura for the pod.
He just said I have a hookup story and I'm going to tell you. On the pod.
And the fact that it's a hookup story that never even like the hookup never even happened.
But the blocking and like it's just shocking.
He's like, and I was like, oh, are you? I was like, oh, do you want guys to be like? Do you want more feminine? And he's like, yeah, I do. And then boom.
That is so.
And I was like, God damn, why couldn't you have told me that before I fucking left?
That is so
like, why didn't you tell me that shit before I left? Why'd I have to like? Why'd you make me like? I showered, I douched, I did the whole fucking thing.
Wow. I'm a little shook right now.
I was gagged.
Well, my pit of the week is like kind of turned into like a good thing.
Yeah.
But it was one night last week. Ty was like, oh, go outside and get something. And he went outside and he sees something moving in our pool. And we've never, in the almost 5 years living there, we've never had anything in our pool. Like
ducks,
we've never ducks, but nothing like drowning or anything like that. And he noticed it and it was a freaking baby skunk and it was so cute. My heart literally exploded. So immediately we scooped it out. We looked at the camera. The daggum thing had been in there for a really long time.
I can't believe it.
So we saved it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's shaking. Cause pool water's like honestly not that cold, but it is pretty chilly to be in there for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's like a baby. So I looked up online what I could do. Cause I had it all wrapped up in towels, but I knew knew it was like scared because it's a wild baby skunk.
Totally.
So I have a heated cat house, and it's not like a heating pad heat. It's like for an animal to sleep in all night. So it's like a good medium temperature, not too hot. So it's safe for animals, which is perfect for the situation. So I built him, me and Ty built him like a little fort in our garage, and we put him in there, and he was shaking for like an hour, but he stopped. He got really warm. I put towels in there so he could huddle, and food. He ate his food. He TT'd.
Oh, was he so cute?
Oh,
I can only imagine a baby skunk. Like, like in correlation to my hand, how big was he?
It's like its body was probably like that, and then its tail was probably the size of your whole hand.
Laura.
And the tail is just pure fluff.
I thought it was like the size of like my hand.
Like the body is probably like that big of the squirrel, and then like 5 inches, I would say, maybe a little less. But the tail is the size of the body.
So it's huge.
Yeah, but
the tail part.
But the tail part, but the tail flips up and sits on top of the squirrel typically.
Got it.
So they're all right. I call it a squirrel because they kind of sit like squirrels with their tails. They keep their tails up. The cutest thing, my first question to Ty, I was like, "Can I please keep it?"
Of course you cannot.
Please. I would die for this skunk. I could turn it. I could turn it into an angel. Anyways, we turned it into a rescue because we obviously Ty wouldn't let me keep it. So
yeah, it slept at our house. That slept for damn near 20 hours.
It did.
It was exhausted.
They're also sleep during the day, so we made sure and we left it alone that entire day because we wanted to make sure it got its rest in a safe, warm place. And then we came back. We were like, I bet in the afternoon this thing's going to be running wild again.
Right.
We came back home after running a bunch of errands because we were ready to take it, and it was running wild in our garage.
It broke out. We created like a fortress around it, like a prison, and he broke out.
Oh no, it was at full speed. It was acting like a regular skunk.
Did it ever want to spray you guys? Did it ever try?
Actually, whenever they're babies, they can spray, but not like an adult. They can't like project at you. It's the smell isn't nearly as potent, and it's not as much. So it's so whenever we were chasing around the garage, we started to smell skunk. So we knew it was trying to get us. It was trying to get you. But I ended up literally taking a towel, picking it up by its tail, and putting it in the crate, and it let me.
You're like,
I was like, come on, you little shit. I've literally like torn my whole garage apart to get you out of here.
Dude.
I'm like, I'm trying to save you and get you out of here too. I want you out of here too.
Yes.
So we had a miscommunication there, but he didn't even try to bite me or anything. I think he knew.
He knew you guys saved him.
I think he knew for sure.
I think so.
Oh, he let me literally hold him whenever we got him out of the pool. Did you kiss him? I picked fleas out of his fur. I went through his fur like a monkey and started picking fleas out.
Laura,
I wanted to give him a flea treatment, but I didn't.
People, imagine you give him a flea treatment.
That
Laura.
would be the fattest, happiest skunk on earth.
Unwell
if he got
thinking
to live
of
with
you
me.
picking out fleas from a skunk.
I would cuddle that baby every night.
I know you would every single night because skunks are the cutest as are baby raccoons.
They are
both
so cute,
freaking cute. And I know you can have skunks as pets.
A girl on TikTok does.
Yeah, but you have to remove their stink glands.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I would feel really bad about that. But anyways, we'll take a break and we'll be right back after this.
Thank you so much to Babbel for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. You guys, for most of us, learning a second language in high school truly is not the tea.
Not
the high point of our academic careers. For me, I took Spanish. What did you take?
I took Spanish.
No way.
I sure did.
And honestly, I thought it was so hard.
I did too.
I'm Mexican. I thought it was freaking hard. But you guys, luckily we have Babbel, the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions.
Whoa.
That's an addictively fun and easy way to learn a new language, whether you'll be traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with your family, or just have some free time. Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that'll actually be useful in real life.
I feel like it makes it so much fun. It doesn't feel like a daunting task. It feels like more like you're going to play a game or spend a little time doing, but you're actually doing something constructive. So they have 15-minute lessons that make it a perfect way to learn a new language on the go.
For me, I like to use the Spanish one.
Oh, yes.
I mean, obviously, like I'm Mexican, I'm Spanish. A lot of my family speaks Spanish. I can like kind of get by with Spanish.
This helps you.
But this helps me like just have more kind of words in my repertoire, especially when I'm going back home and I'm like, yo, I need a little bit more words to tell my nana and tata.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
They also have a speech recognition technology that helps you improve the pronunciation and the accent of the word. So it's really cool. The accent, honey. You can start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/fool. That's babbel.com/fool for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life.
60%. That's a high percentage, girl.
Thank you to Away for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. Guys, I love Away.
We're Awayaholics over here.
We're Awayaholics. Me and Manny.
Full Coverage.
We love Away luggage. If you guys haven't tried it, it's extremely luxe. We just got back from a trip where we both carried our Away carry-ons, and they're so nice.
They're also so slim and chic.
They're also lightweight. So like the actual, I get frustrated when actual luggage is heavy because then it adds weight onto your luggage.
Absolutely.
Like weight you have to lug around. So the Away luggage, so easy. It's got the 360 spinner wheels.
Those are my favorite.
They're so smooth.
I absolutely love it. And the fact that they also have the TSA approved combination lock, and it kind of keeps everything kind of safe. So it's a combination lock that's TSA approved. It's not like you can't they'll break into your bag because you can't get in. They're approved by the TSA.
I've had Away luggages for a long time, and it says that they're built to last. They have durable exteriors, which I can attest to that. They actually are. Like you can throw them around, beat them around. It says that they even withstand the toughest, roughest baggage handlers.
I couldn't agree more. I honestly one of my favorite ads to do is literally Away ads because they're literally just part of my life at this point. I love the Away luggages. You guys, there's a 100-day trial on everything Away makes as well. Take the product out on the road, live with it, travel with it, even get lost with it for 100 days. If you decide it's not for you, you can return any non-personalized item for a full refund during that period. No ifs, ands, or buts.
You know what that means? That means the stuff is good. Start your 100-day trial and shop the entire Away lineup of travel essentials, including their best-selling suitcases at awaytravel.com/fool. That's awaytravel.com/fool. And we're back.
And that was a 1-second break from us.
All right, let's jump into the juice of this episode.
The juice, the jugo?
The jugo. All right, guys, so we officially have a verdict. So
Johnny's the winner.
Johnny's the winner.
You're a winner, baby. Like RuPaul says. You're a winner, baby.
And that's what happened in the courtroom. RuPaul walked out and said to Amber, "Chasse away."
What happened was RuPaul walked out and she had 2 photos in one, and the one that she did not call was the loser.
I have 1 photo in this envelope.
And the girl that I did not call will have to pack her bags and go home.
Yep. And that's what happened. Tyra Banks came out, read the verdict.
And we're all on crack.
So only after the jury had 6 weeks to pick this verdict.
Yeah.
It took them 2.5 days to come up with a verdict, and it had to be unanimous, meaning they all had to be on the same page.
That gagged me.
I didn't know. I thought that was only for federal murder cases.
I had no idea that had to be unanimous. I thought it was a greater than rules, like
Truly
a 7
had
out of
no
12
idea.
situation.
Truly had no idea.
No clue. That was one thing I definitely learned from the case, that it was had to be a unanimous decision.
So I assumed it would take them a bit longer to make their decision, but once I heard they were making a decision today, I said, "Oh, Johnny won this thing." I figured if they took a little longer, there's a potential Amber could have won, but I figured Johnny won. So you want to say what the numbers were?
Absolutely. So, but I also did see too that the reason that they also didn't announce it on Tuesday or announce it on Friday, because this is speculation, obviously. But a lot of people would have potentially found it inappropriate.
I feel that.
Because it's been 6 weeks of trial, and if they do the jury super quick,
they feel like they didn't do their research.
They didn't do the due diligence, the research, and that's why there's speculation that it wasn't on let's say Friday, or was it on Tuesday, and that it took till Wednesday for them to come out with that.
That makes a lot of sense. They're like, all right, we'll give you a little time, but we're not going to take much time because we just gave 6 weeks of our time and we're done with this case.
Also, what killed me was the jury.
Alternates. The alternates.
I didn't know about this either. That was something I didn't know.
So is it 12 that gets to deliberate?
Yes, 12 gets to deliberate.
And so there are 2
that get replaced.
So everybody's up there and has to be up there for the 6 weeks. And they tell them in the beginning, hey, just so you know, at the end of this thing, we're going to randomly pick 2 of you and you're going to be out.
And they were in an envelope that they were picked at the beginning. Random, before it even started, they'd be like, we have 2 names. We have 2 numbers in an envelope. There's an envelope. They open it and they reveal the 2 jurors. Imagine being there for 6 weeks, not getting to deliberate at the end, and they were replaced. Technically, they can't like go and leave. Like they're still part of it because if anyone for some reason can't
get sick or has to leave, can't deliberate, they had to stay till the very end to potentially be a part of it, which is just so wild to me. But that happens. Yeah. Which they quickly came up with a verdict, and the verdict was they wanted to award Johnny $10 million in compensatory damages, and then $5 million in punitive punishment damages.
Right. So technically, in the state of Virginia, you can't get more than $350,000 for punitive damages. But the thing, I don't think the jury even knew that. Yeah. So they're like $5 million,
which is the goop and the gag. Basically, the real number of what they wanted to charge her with came out because they didn't know about the $350.
Yeah. So what happened? So punitive. Actually, again, this is something I had no idea.
We've learned so much through this.
I feel like a fucking wizard.
Me too.
I feel like a law wizard. You know what I will have to say? I'd have to say Emily D. Baker. Shout out to you because
shout out to you.
A law nerd, and I have been following along with this case with her, and she's been helping.
Check out her channel on YouTube. She's very educational.
Because I really do feel like she's been helping because she's a lawyer. She does correspondence on YouTube, and she literally was like breaking. She would do. I'm not kidding you. Every single day, 9-hour streams. To help break down like what was actually going on from the case.
From the case. Wow.
Like that's how dedicated she was.
You guys probably have already heard about her, but she's amazing. Check her out.
She's incredible. And I feel like I got a lot of information, a lot of the breakdown that she helped me understand, who like I never studied law. So shout out to her. That's how I feel like we got a lot of the information that we do
for this breakdown.
For the breakdown. But yeah, punitive damages is basically like the like slap on the wrist damages. Like
your punishment.
It's like a punishment damage.
Like this is what we want to charge you for doing what you did. Essentially, Amber Heard making the story up a line.
She fucked up.
Posting the Washington Post op-ed. That is what the $5 million is for. It's like a slap on the wrist for that. That's a big slap on the wrist. It's a big slap.
I'm basically saying like it's almost like setting an example. Like, do not pull this shit. Like other people do not pull shit like this
because this is what it's gonna look like. And it seems like they try to set an example with her because the number was pretty darn high.
I mean, imagine like it's literally like they couldn't even allow a lot more than $350,
and they're like $5 million. That's how wrong they thought she was, and thought she should be punished for it.
I wonder if part of her demeanor in court adds to this. I do think that she didn't have the best court demeanor.
I don't either, and that's why I was like, okay. Whenever her lawyer, her team was examining her, I started to feel bad for her.
Totally.
And like, so it works. Court works. That's what you're supposed to be feeling.
Right.
But then whenever Johnny's lawyers will cross-examine her, I'd be like, this girl is literally like, no, this is crazy.
Well, it's also like her not looking at them and only looking at the jury.
And
like,
saying no to things where we just heard a tape recording where you say it, where I'm just like, girl, maybe we should admit to some things. And then other things where we don't have evidence, maybe say, I don't recall that. But being like, you don't recall something like just played, it's like, you know, the jury's going to look at that and be like,
Well, and like her, like, for example, there was like this one moment when Camille was talking to her and Amber just went off on like a full answering a random thing. And Camille was like, Amber, like, do not.
I remember that.
Like, address the jury with something that I had never asked you this question. Like, it's not appropriate for you to like try to talk to them. You're talking to me, you know, and I think it's things like that. Like that's like little constant strikes against Amber. And I do wonder, I'm like, are those things counted with the punitive
which got
damages?
The number up so high?
Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know. And then the $10 million comes from literally what he lost in like movies or lost the compensation that he could have gotten if this article didn't come out.
What I want to know is how they got to $10 million.
Right?
Where did the $10 million come from?
Where does
they're suing for 50.
They're suing for 50, and like for instance, Johnny gets paid allegedly around $20 million per movie.
Right.
And we have 2 roles that he lost that were just 2 of his biggest roles yet.
They're saying that that was speculative though. They're like, well, what if there's not going to be another Pirates movie?
Okay, but there isn't another Pirates movie because of this.
So technically, it's like that's what they're saying. Like, oh, how could we prove that this is the money he actually would have lost if there's no Pirates movie coming out?
I would, but my thing is like, there's no world where I would think he only would get $10 million for a franchise that has earned Disney billions.
Billions.
I think it's like in the 4 billions actually.
Absolutely. And plus plus obviously Fantastic Beasts.
I mean, that didn't even count that. So that's where we get confused where the 10 million comes from. I feel like the number's super low. Not that I'm like, yeah, I get more money out of Amber. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Right. I just think 10 million is an interesting number for damages whenever... I think we all know it's like definitely more damages than that.
Like the gag too is that Johnny has like fully stated he's like, I'm not even in it for the money. Like I literally just want the truth.
Didn't
to be
he
out
say
there.
that he said? Well, I think he said they could pay him $300 million, and he would never do.
Yeah. And like
the
get like llamas
again.
or something like that.
Yeah,
or something
alpacas.
About, like, alpacas. Like get alpacas and 300 million. Like
it.
something crazy. And I was like, I'm still not going to do it.
But yeah, he also said that, you know, he in his statement that, you know, he just wanted the truth out there for his fans and for his work that he's put in so many years. He didn't want to lose.
And for his family.
Yeah. Like
imagine,
his children.
Like imagine like your like dad going through this. Like it would be heart-wrenching. Like it'd be the worst thing ever. So I can only imagine like how crazy it is. But he did actually win on all counts for
all three
counts on his. So that was pretty wild. I will say I was like a little shocked to see that he won on all the counts for defamation.
Amber won on one count, and
I was shocked that she won on the one.
She did. She won $2 million. They thought that she won $2 million on one count. She did lose 2 of her counts, but then one count she won, and the count was
the police situation. So the police situation was basically, so the count was Johnny made this statement in the Daily Mail, essentially saying like, I think that Amber and her, not even I think, it's like what Amber and her friends did, because that's what defamation is. What Amber and her friends did, they planted this whole thing. They busted up the place that they were staying at. The penthouse. And they
called the police and staged
twice. Called them twice. And that it was like this whole, like it was like a hoax.
Yeah.
Right? So what happened was that the jury had decided that that was actually defamation because there was no actual proof. And I think that when you're looking at all the counts and stuff like that, the way they're deliberating is very like factual, and it's very like dun 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 dun. And because of this, like where it's like the body cam footage from the police, their testimonies, like they didn't feel like there was enough
that
evidence.
Really happened. There was enough to prove that happened. So what he said, because he made a statement in the Daily Mail saying that they did that. So they're like, no, and that was $2 million. She probably lost about $2 million worth of work because of an article like that. Is what.
But like, did she actually work $2 million of work?
These numbers are interesting to me.
I'm very fascinated by them. I'm not gonna lie. I want to know how they get, like, why they decide suddenly $2 million for this one thing.
I don't know.
I darn nar.
You got me good on that one.
I would love to know why, but she ended up winning one of the counts. So I wonder also too, for example, he obviously won 10.3.
Yes.
Right, 10.35. And she won 2. Is it like just like subtracted? And it's like, so now he gets 2.35 from her.
Well, the goop, like I don't know. I would assume, but like the court with all of the money thing gets really interesting and hairy. Like that whole situation, like paying out, gets really hairy because it's not like Amber just writes over a check for $10.3 million, which is what the total ends up being. Which I know at the end of the day, like this isn't even about the money for him. And me and Manny already did some deep diving online and like trying to figure out how much a case like this would cost, and we came up,
it's like in the 10 million.
The 10 million. So we're thinking honestly, like if Johnny does end up going after her for this money, that he's just gonna break even on this case.
Yeah, because of how expensive the lawyer fees actually are. Like they're so expensive hourly, and imagine you're doing 6 weeks worth,
and they
every
say
single
court
day.
Hours is charged like double what the like office research hourly hours are. Like court hours are so much more, and we spent 6 weeks in courts, guys.
That's like literally millions of dollars, because it's not just it's multiple lawyers. It's multiple people. Like for example, Camille's an associate. She's not a partner.
The whole team.
She's an associate. I mean, I think she'll be partner after this case.
Girl.
And if she doesn't, I will revolt.
She's gonna have her own firm.
She's gonna have her own fucking firm. But I do think that she'll make partner after this, because it was such a huge, monumental thing for her career specifically.
So me and Manny were discussing, Johnny Depp is in the UK right now performing with this band. It seems like he's moving on with his life. Like it truly seems like, all right, that's done.
He wasn't even there for the thing.
He just,
What'd you think
Amber
of that?
was there.
But what do you think?
Okay, so I think Johnny wasn't there because I think he knew he probably won this case.
I do
and
too.
He's like, no need to like be there he like literally was in a pub whenever they announced the winning.
So I know he had like the prior obligations, but did you think that maybe potentially he thought, oh shit, like I can't believe they picked so quickly.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
I wonder if he was shook. I bet he was shook.
What if he was shook that they picked so fast, that they deliberated so quickly, because they had up to 6 weeks to deliberate. What if he was like, oh fuck, I had no idea that they would call in a few days, that it would be announced. Yeah. Maybe that could be a reason why he was out there doing, his obligations, his performances with the band.
Yeah. Maybe so.
But I think that, so with the teams, I was seeing that like Amber's team was basically being like, isn't it so crazy that Johnny's out there getting drunk and playing music out in the UK when Amber's here and her priorities are here?
So that's why
Amber's there.
The Amber showed up.
That's why I think so. Like they wanted to kind of play that whole like, look, if she's here.
If I were in her shoes, like obviously with this verdict, I would assume that I probably lost. There's no way in hell I would show my face in that courtroom, because like that's like a tough thing to do, because that's aired on TV again. Like you there by yourself, him out in the UK, with his band, which he did seem to really like doing that according to the case. Like whenever they would get in fights and stuff, he would like go off with his band a lot and practice. But I just don't know if I would have the strength to do that.
I don't either. I feel like I got to give props to Amber on that one.
For showing up.
Because because she was bold facing it too. And like when they read it, she was just like.
She didn't even blink. I think she was so prepared, like mentally for this.
And also, so what happened to you guys, this thing too, is when they were about to read off the thing, the judge is like, baby, you didn't write down the damages. You didn't write it down.
It was a little delayed.
It was a little delayed because of the improper filing, essentially. But so both parties went to the front, and the judge talked to them like, oh, this is what happened. They didn't write, like they didn't do it, so they talked to him. I think that's when they found out.
So they
went back to Amber and was like, you were fucking losing.
So and then that way, whenever they read it, her live face was just like steady as could be.
Yeah, because they were already, because it took like another 15 minutes after that for the damages. It has to be at least $1. That's what it said. I
can't imagine what it must be like to be her right now.
And your whole life's turned upside down.
Yeah.
I think see, the thing is, for me, I have been throughout the case Team Johnny. I have been. Yeah. I'm still very much like. I think they both fucked up so many ways.
I think they both did too.
For this specifically, I was on side Johnny in comparison to what was going on, especially after the 6 week, after watching all the trial, after studying a lot of the trial for full coverage. Guys, me and
Manny have followed this trial heavier than the average person.
You guys, I have been like part of me's been wanting to like.
We have focused on the side stories, what other celebrities have come out and admitted on Amber, or what celebrities have said about Johnny. Like we have. Just for so long, so it was so cool for us to be able just to follow through all the way with this, like with all the information.
It's actually been fucking crazy.
It's just been like the wildest ride, honestly.
It's been wild. I was like going insane, but I forgot what I was saying.
Well, there is like this teeny part of me, like I don't wish this much hate upon her.
That's exactly. That's where I was going. I do not wish
this hate upon her,
anyone,
because I can't even imagine what it must be like to be her. And like, sure, it was a pretty big fucking mistake that she made, like going against Johnny Depp and trying to take him down with the article. But it's still like human to human. Like my heart hurts for her.
Me too.
Because I can't imagine what it must be like her to be a person.
Imagine on that scale.
Yeah.
We've been dealt some shitty fucking hands in our career. And
I know what that felt like for me.
Same.
And so like
the
hate she's getting, I can't help but to have some empathy there for her.
Absolutely.
Not that I know what it's like to have this level.
No, me neither. But we can understand where it feels like the world is crumbling in on you.
Yes. And like no matter what you do, no matter what you say, like you're just not heard.
Yeah. Wow. You're not heard.
Amber Heard.
Whoa, Laura, that was witty of you, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Clever.
But what I was saying was that like, even though I have been pro Johnny, on this case, I as a human being, like I feel really terribly for Amber.
I do too.
I do, and I know that a lot of people are like, she's a liar, she's crazy, all these things, and like the things that people have been saying about her online have been horrid and absolutely insane. And I don't think that anyone deserves that kind of thing, because it's like at the end of the day, it's still her and what her story, that what she feels like she wants to share.
Yep. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about what happens next, like with the money.
What can happen now, like from here?
So we read online from an article that she can pay a percentage of the bond, which guarantees she goes back to court. She can appeal it, or she can file for bankruptcy to pay it, or Johnny could actually just not pursue the money. Like Johnny could not, he could just,
want it,
be like, deny the money, not want the money, like let the case rest, which some people are speculating that he may do that because he said in his statement after the verdict was read that, you know, he got what he wanted, which was the truth. In it
for the money. I wanted just the truth to be out.
Let's take a break.
Okay. Let's take a break.
Let's take a quick little break and we'll be right back after this.
Perfect.
Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Guys, burnout is real. If you're working too much, you're doing too much, and you're not taking enough time for yourself. Have you ever just felt that burnout?
Baby, I feel it like literally all the time.
My gosh, me too. Life is so overwhelming, and so many people deal with it. And some symptoms of burnout include lack of motivation, irritability, fatigue, and even more.
I feel like I personally have felt that a million times over. But the cool thing, you guys, we have BetterHelp here. BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself, you guys. And that's truly kind of figuring out what are the stressors in your life, trying to go through them, realizing what makes that stress tick. And that's what BetterHelp is for.
I think it's so important to prioritize yourself and your mental health. BetterHelp is a great way to do that. It's online therapy, and you can be matched with therapists within 48 hours.
I love that, you guys. For me, like, I have gone to therapy for years and years and years. I absolutely heavily recommend going to therapy, and, you know, or doing online therapy if you don't want to go in person. That's the cool thing about BetterHelp is that you can
such
literally
a discreet way of doing it.
Yeah, it's like discreet. You can like do it in a way where you don't feel like it's overwhelming to go inside somewhere and actually like ask for help.
BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't even have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/full coverage. That's BetterHelp.com/full coverage. Thank you to eHarmony for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. Guys, eHarmony's been around for over 20 years. They pioneered helping people find lasting relationships by meeting online.
Meaningful, lasting relationships too, not just relationships, deep,
not quick little one-offs. It's the real deal with eHarmony. They've helped millions of people find meaningful relationships. And if you fast forward to today, I feel like the online dating has become like a quick, like pop culture thing. It's a swipe.
Maybe it's a mess.
Low effort. And eHarmony is that app where you have to do the full compatibility quiz and you're able to actually have a chance of finding the real love.
I love it. I love that they also have like a personality profile too that helps you discover more about yourself and the matches that you can potentially kind of be with. Listen, as someone who literally online dates because meeting people in my life is freaking hard, and in this day and age, like, I'm single, I use apps, and it's frustrating sometimes. So the fact that eHarmony has, you know, this ability to make these deep connections with the compatibility quiz and personality profiles, I think is actually really, 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 really cool. And the fact that it's been the leader in the dating space for 20+ years.
See, that's amazing. And I feel like everybody has a different view on what love means and what it looks like, but they help you find what you're looking for and the kind of love you're looking for on this app.
I mean, when it comes to real love, it's all about connection, right? It's about finding that balance and that spark, and about finding all these different things. And I think that eHarmony knows that that's what real love is about. It's not just about a quick, like, this kind of situation. It's real, deep love that lasts for a lifetime.
You guys, eHarmony is the #1 trusted dating app. Be sure and check it out. You guys can start free today. Check it out, guys.
Thank you so much to Framebridge for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. You guys, we have to tell you about this new amazing service that we found. It's called Framebridge. Basically, Framebridge makes it super easy and affordable to frame your favorite things, from art prints, posters, travel photos, literally anything that are sitting on your phone. With Father's Day around the corner, Framebridge also makes the perfect gift. In fact, select gifts ship next day.
Such a cute gift. Also, just so you guys know, you just go to framebridge.com, you upload your photos, or they'll send you a package to send them in. You can mail in your physical pieces. The experts at Framebridge will custom frame your idol and deliver it to you in a finished piece directly to your door, and it'll be ready to hang.
I love that. I think it's like such a fun idea to give as a gift. Like it's more of a personal gift where it's like a photo in a frame. Like, look like I freaking really took some time out in this, and I think it's cute because like if I want to frame a photo,
make it
easy.
So easy.
If I want to frame a photo for you for your birthday in September. It would be Framebridge.
And that's when you use the code FOOL.
Period.
So you can get started today, frame your photos, or send someone the perfect gift. Go to framebridge.com and use promo code FOOL to save an additional 15% off your first order. Just go to framebridge.com, promo code FOOL. Framebridge.com, promo code FOOL.
And we are back.
We are back, baby.
Back again.
I just need to announce randomly that my makeup has officially been on for almost 12 hours.
What foundation are you wearing?
Hourglass Vanish, baby.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Whenever I have a day where it's going to be like a 12-hour
Vanish.
I have to do the Vanish, and I have to set it with like some Mac Studio Fix. Like no
and
games
I know
can be
like
played.
you're baking for a lot longer too. I noticed earlier because when I got your house, you were baking for like a good 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, I was like walking around my house just
like
baking.
fully just powder underneath to make sure it's gonna last.
And I have waterproof mascara on. Like this is
no transfer here, by the way. Nothing.
Wow.
It's good.
I could literally go to a swim meet and swim the full laps and come out like this.
And you would look just like that.
It ain't no one wipe and it's gone, baby.
It's a double. It's a double cleanse.
It's a double cleanse tonight.
That's a double cleansing face right there.
I can pack it on good when I have
to. When we have to, we will pack it on.
That's right.
For me, my routine is a sticky primer, like the e.l.f. primer, the gripping one, or the Milk one. Like I need a sticky, and then I go in with Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation.
That's a good one.
Maybe that one will stay on my face for a good 20 hours.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Talk.
Okay, let's break down.
Yeah, so the appeal. So why don't we talk about the appeal?
So she can appeal this in hopes of getting a lighter verdict from the jury. And I don't know personally what all goes through an appeal. I don't know if we rehash everything that was done.
There's no way in my brain that they would ever redo this entire trial.
No.
Because an appeal.
Yeah.
I think that maybe it's like presented to different people and they like maybe a smaller version of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it could be. Maybe all the information is presented in a different way.
Yeah.
But I just there's no world in my brain that thinks that like she would go through this whole thing again.
Yeah.
And they would ever allow that because the thing is court time is so precious.
It is.
And they had 6 weeks for this trial.
That takes up a lot of court time.
It takes a lot of court time, and court time is really like hard to come by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that is something that they would ever allow that to happen.
No way.
I don't believe it one bit.
And then her just paying it. So it says would pay a bond.
So paying a bond, I believe it's literally just like an upfront thing. You pay the bond.
Guaranteeing you're going to come back to court.
Yes.
But I don't understand that fully.
Me neither.
I'm just going to be honest. I don't understand the paying of the bond.
I don't get that part either. Like, if you guys know, please let us know. The paying of the bond, like, because the case is over, so why would you need to pay a bond to come back?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
So what does that even mean? That's what I'm confused about.
And then the file for bankruptcy option is pretty simple, filing for bankruptcy, but they would take her assets, but to pay off. And to clear
everything, though.
Start fresh.
A lot of people and companies will file for bankruptcy when things like that go down.
And there's a lot of speculation of how much she's worth, because she did win the $7 million in the case with the divorce, but she owed that to charity, but she didn't pay the charity, and she got Elon Musk to make a payment of $500,000 on her behalf. So it's like, did she not have the money? Did she not have the $500,000 to donate to charity that she owed them?
How much do you think she got from Aquaman?
They announced it, didn't they?
How much she got paid for it? I don't know. Look it up. I'm kind of curious.
Wasn't it $2 million? And then I'm gonna look it up.
2?
Real quick. It was like $2 million, and then they said because she was doing a TV show and she was getting $450 per episode.
Okay.
And then they said for Aquaman $2 million, and then they were speculating it would be $4 million for her next role, but then they were like arguing that absolutely not. I don't know.
Like how would that happen?
Hold on,
I'm just trying to think of more so like what her net worth would be. I'm thinking net worth wise would be south of 10 million for sure.
South of 10. That would be mine. South of 10.
Definitely south of 10. I'm thinking for Johnny, it's north.
He's worth like 300 million.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
makes much more sense.
Amber was paid $2 million when she is signed to be a part of Aquaman 2.
Okay. $2 million. So she got $2 million. That's what you see again.
So in court, Amber should have had the ability to get her salary increased by at least $6 million, according to Arnold.
Okay.
It says Heard confirmed that she was paid $1 million for Aquaman 1 and $2 million for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
So it's not that much. Like it is, but not for that big role.
I'm a little shocked actually that she was paid that amount.
So for Aquaman 1, she was paid $1 million. For Aquaman 2, $2 million. So, I mean...
I'm a little surprised. I thought she would actually get paid more.
Her role isn't... In Aquaman 1, it is pretty significant.
She's the love interest, like the main love interest.
I would say the second biggest character, I would say.
Like around there.
Around
third.
there. But she also doesn't have any like credits in work. Underneath her.
Because
so
Nicole Kidman got paid way more for the first one.
Oh, and Jason.
Nicole and Jason are not getting paid one.
No.
Mind you, it's a different accolades underneath them.
It is
years
completely.
Of experience.
And that was the argument in court, like how much they were saying, oh, well, she would have got bumped up to like this much million. And they were like, no, because she was only getting paid $2 million as it was.
Right.
So, because they were saying for the next movie.
Yeah, they're like, come on
no. Because she only got bumped up $1 million for the second.
They're like, how are you going to get 6?
Yeah, no.
Where?
They're like, where are you getting 6? Yeah.
I think that, and like last but not least, obviously Johnny could waive it. What do you think of that? Do you think Johnny will waive?
There is a part of me that thinks he will waive it.
I do too.
But if he didn't waive it, I'd be like, in that way, he's just covering his court cost.
Yeah. What I'm thinking about is that Johnny, like, would waive it just to further make the audience love him.
Dude, it's literally...
Part of me thinks that it'd be like...
It's nothing for him.
Exactly. It's nothing
to him.
So I'm like, I feel like he would be just like, you
or
know
would
what?
It make them more mad? Because these people are pretty vicious
out
there. They want blood.
They want blood. But I think that they would see Johnny as being like, oh my God, look how sweet he is. Like,
yeah.
Amber, like, doesn't even, like, he want...
It's a good look.
It's a good look. He doesn't even want Amber's money. He was just doing it for the truth, which, of course, could absolutely all be true. But realistically, if he were to waive the fees...
Supposedly, Johnny already has, and God knows how many movies this man truly has booked out that we just have no clue about.
No clue.
But we already know 2 movies that he has already gotten fully booked. Yeah. He's got Beetlejuice, and then he's going to play King Richard. Someone tweeted me in a new movie that's coming out. So, I mean, this man is like, honey, he's booked and busy. Like, the money is rolling in for him. So that's why I'm like, wouldn't really be shocked if he didn't make her pay the money. Or if he did, maybe he's just like, well, she's paying my court costs, you know?
What do you think Amber's going to do from here?
I think she's going to appeal it.
No, I mean for the rest of her life.
I have no earthly idea what she's going to do. I'm so confused about what she's going to do.
Let's say if she's worth $10 million.
Okay.
And let's say she owes 8.3 to Johnny. She'll have 1.7 to survive. I truly don't think that any Hollywood production company, movie, anything is going to hire her for a very long time.
I don't think
not ever.
I think if she would have gotten divorced, won the $7 million, everybody hated her for that, and it would have left this whole thing along. I think in around 4 to 5 years, she'd be acting again.
Totally.
I think she'd be good to go, especially if she started dating someone likable after that, or like something like that. I think she totally would make a comeback, and she would have been fine.
But I don't think that's the case currently.
But now, after she went and did the Washington Post, posted the op-ed, endorsed it, and lost this case, she's done.
She is a wrap.
I think it's a wrap.
I really think it's a wrap. So I wonder, I'm like, what is she going to do now? Like, genuinely, like, what the fuck is she going to do?
I don't know.
Maybe she'll write a tell-all. She could sell a tell-all.
And that would make millions.
That could make some good money.
That would make millions, because people for her or against her would want to know what's said.
What's the gag is, like, they obviously both made statements. Like, they made statements right after the thing.
They both made statements.
Amber made her statement. Johnny made his statement. Amber's statement got like 150,000 likes from what I've seen. 150,000 likes, which is a lot of likes, a lot of support.
I'll see where it's at now.
Johnny's.
Tell him how many Johnny's got, which kind of
around
gives
10 million likes.
This kind of gives you a perspective of like what side people are on, like how the percentage is. Yeah.
The court of public opinion have absolutely sided with Johnny, the vast majority. So
her post is now at 200,000 likes.
Okay.
So Johnny's post is now at...
Has to be a 10.
12, almost 13, because it's 12.9. So in a few hours, it'll be at 13,000 likes with almost 600,000 comments, which kind of gives you a perspective of a percentage and number of the side people are on and like what they're thinking, which is just It's insane.
It's unreal.
200,000 to 13 million. That's the comparison in likes.
But the thing is, again, like I think a lot of people were Team Johnny on this. I think a lot of people were very anti-Amber. It's hard, you guys, because I think that, you know, with her, I just don't think in court she has the most likable demeanor.
Yeah.
She has this like way of being almost unlikable.
Yeah.
And she, you know, when she's not talking directly to his lawyers and she's looking at the jury constantly, it's like those little things that constantly check off for people. It's frustrating for them. Or the way she talks, like the way a lot of people,
she would tell the story, the way she would tell her stories to me. And I'm not here to judge because I've never been in any situation like that. I don't know how the hell I would tell anything like that to a court, but it's just like the way it became off. So a little dramatic and strange.
Yeah, it came out very, like, even like the whole, like, my dog stepped on a bee.
Yeah.
It's like things like that where it's like, it's quirky. Mm-hmm. Quirky, I feel like, is the word I can say.
Yeah.
That would make sense in my head.
Yeah.
Without being
We were for Johnny, we're just not bash Amber people.
No, fuck no. I don't think that anyone should be bashing.
No.
Anyone in this situation.
All you should be rooting for really is
justice.
Justice, exactly.
Mm-hmm. I'm team justice, and I do feel like justice was served in this case, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, me too.
In the way of like, even Amber got some money.
Yeah.
Johnny got some money. Amber got some money. I'm glad actually that they both got some money.
Yeah.
In a weird way, like I'm happy that they're both compensated for different things, because I do think that they're both very toxic for each other.
And shout out to the jury for doing the
Lord's work.
The Lord's work, baby.
No. Y'all, if anyone by the chance of any of those 14 or 12 are watching this,
if there's a chance,
you are strong you are brave and you are loved.
You are loved. God bless.
And God bless.
God bless. And that's it for this episode.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys for watching.
We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. Whether it's Thursday or it's Friday,
we don't know what day it's gonna be.
Full Thursday, full Friday. We don't fucking know.
We love you.
We love you guys. Don't forget to listen, subscribe,
and don't forget to add in the comment section. Chat with us. We want to know what your thoughts on all this. So please tell us more. But anyways, that's it. We love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.